What's going on, Packers fans? Aaron Nagler here with Cheesehead TV, joined by a very special guest, a man who no Packers fan needs an introduction to, but I'll give him one anyway. This gentleman played in all 17 games last season, started 7 of them, tallying 31 tackles, 18 of them solo, 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 8 quarterback hits, and 3 pass defensed. It's Packers linebacker Kingsley Enagbare. Kingsley, thank you so much for joining me, man.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, it's the dead period, right? There's that time. It's that deep breath before the plunge into training camp and the season ramps up and all of that. Have you been getting away at all? I mean, what have you done since the end of the off-season program? Are you just chilling at home? What have you been up to?
I took a little trip to Cancun early on, and
there you go.
Right after the season, like a couple weeks after the season, and that was probably, I guess, the biggest thing I've been doing since. Mainly just been working out, trying to get better, trying to improve from last year, and just
love it.
Yeah, but Atlanta itself is kind of a vacation.
Yeah, I'll bet, especially when you're living in Green Bay for the rest of the year. But speaking of Atlanta, growing up in Atlanta or around that area, how early on did you know you wanted to play football? Is it something you knew from an early age? Is it something that came a little later? When did you know?
So I guess my first instance, like, of just knowing about football, I was like 4 or 5. Then me and my sister and my brother was pretty much walking through the neighborhood at the time. Then it was like some dogs or whatever. We stopped and like petted one of them. Then another one came from like the garage or something, like a chihuahua. They started chasing me, so I'm running. And then like the owner ended up catching the dog or got the dog back, and he was like, "Yeah, right. That kid gonna be in the NFL." Then ever since then, that kind of stuck with me. So I guess when I first started playing football, like I was 6, so like a year or 2 later, one of my friends in the neighborhood or whatever, like we was playing outside, and then the coach came to pick him up. I'm like, "Dang, you just gonna leave me like that? Like, where you going?" And he was like, "Football practice." And I was like, "Shoot, can I come?" And then the coach pretty much was like, "Actually, for parents or whatever." Then the rest is history.
That's great. So you obviously grow up playing ball and you achieve this dream, right? I mean, anybody who's throwing the football around in the backyard dreams of playing in the NFL. You actually achieve it. Where were you when you were drafted? Were you at home? Were you with family? What was that day like?
Yeah, so pretty much so all my family, my mom, my brother, sisters, my godparents, and my auntie, my niece and nephews pretty much was at the crib watching it all together. Then got that call, and it was pretty much just a flux of emotion, like pretty much indescribable, knowing that I'm here, knowing my dreams are actually here, like literally living the dream that almost every kid grow up want to live. So definitely a blessing. Definitely feel like I came to the right organization.
That's right. Do you remember who was on the phone when they called? Was it a scout? Was it a GM? Do you remember?
I think it might have been Joey B, our D coordinator.
Right.
Then I guess they passed the phone around to the rest of the guys, but I think Joey B was the first one pretty much make that call.
That's great. He's an upbeat guy, no doubt about it. So I'm sure he was pumped to have you. There's zero doubt about it. Looking back at your rookie season, I think anybody watching it, an observer, a Packers fan, or just a neutral observer, would agree that you really stepped up for the team when the team needed you after Rashawn went down. It's no secret. You really, got thrust into a major role.
Yeah.
Was there a game or a moment, either before or after that point, where you thought, okay, that's it, that's the standard? Not that I've arrived or anything like that, because I don't think guys ever feel like they've arrived at any point, because you're always working to get better. But was there a moment where you're like, yeah, okay, I belong, that's the standard, and if I can keep building off of that performance or that play, I'll know I've got something working here in the NFL?
I'll probably say it was the Tennessee game. So that would have been like, I guess, my second, third start or something like that. But that's that's like one of the first games where I really felt like pretty much felt like myself again. Felt like it was college. Kind of felt normal in a sense. And I felt like I was pretty much had an impact, pretty good impact on that game, whether it was on the run stops or affecting my pass rush. That's for like not a complete game, but to that point, that was my complete game on both sides. Like whether it's the run and stopping the pass.
I mean, you're tackling Derrick Henry in that game. That's no joke, you know.
Yeah.
It was funny because when I knew we were talking, I went back and watched the Dallas game, the Tennessee game, and it's like, man, you're shedding blocks and tackling Derrick Henry at the line of scrimmage. Is that like I know you're not doing it in the game, but maybe the following the week when you're looking at the tape or whatever, you're like, man, that's Derrick Henry. Do you ever have that kind of moment as a rookie in the NFL?
Yeah, mainly with quarterbacks with Tom Brady. So I would mainly say it was like,
oh, good point, right?
So when we played Tom Brady, the Bucks, I think I had a pressure or something, but I ended up like scraping at his legs or something trying to get him, but he ended up throwing the ball. But that's probably the game where I was like, dang, I'm out here really with guys I grew up watching, guys who are pretty much legends in the game. So that was probably the first moment where I was like, not starstruck, but like, dang, yeah,
I'm here, right? Well, speaking of that, like that jump, right, from the college to the pros, what's the biggest challenge you faced or the biggest adjustment you needed to make in your game? Or was there one? Or was it a question of just getting on the field more and more reps and more getting comfortable with the speed of the game, the physicality of it? What was the biggest adjustment from college to the pros?
I'll probably say just reps and experience. Like, I guess the difference between rookies and the vets, like Preston Smith, for example, smartest, I don't know what, like he knows what's going to happen before what's going to happen. So things like that, like, which only comes with experience. Like, I mean, essentially everyone in the league made it in the league because they have the talent, the ability to make plays or succeed or whatever. But I guess the best separate themselves from, I guess, the mental aspect of it, whether it's catching up the game speed or just, like I said before, just knowing, being able to predict the play before it becomes based off formations, based off, I guess, your keys, based off what the tackle is giving you, just little things, just which comes with experience and I guess ultimately full film study.
I love it. Is there, speaking of film study and just study in general and working on your craft and becoming the player you want to be, is there a specific area of your game that you want to focus on during training camp and preseason to get ready for the second year of your NFL career? Or is it just a question of trying to build off of what you did last year?
I'll probably say that, just being more consistent. I feel like throughout last season, this OTAs, I pretty much showed that I can make the plays, get to the quarterback, I can stop the run, but just doing it on a consistent basis and being more dominant with it and on an every down basis.
I know there's always pressure in the NFL because that is almost always the go-to answer when guys get asked this question. So I'm going to get that out of the way. We know there's always pressure in the NFL, right? But do you feel any kind of, maybe not pressure, but responsibility or things of that nature, because you know there's a good chance that Rashawn's not going to be ready for the start of the season? You're going to be in the mix a whole hell of a lot more, much like you were at the end of last year. Is that on your mind at all? Is that something you think about, or is it just ball?
Ball. Pretty much just ball, just pretty much just me versus me and just trying to get better each day and just, I guess, focus on what I can focus on and control. And ultimately I feel like you can do that and just stay in your lane, just lock in. Everything else is gonna come. So yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much you can't worry about too much because that's when everything starts to feel like it's cluttered and darts and stuff come being thrown. So it's pretty much just stand, focus head, focus in on the task at hand and be where your feet are.
I love it. Where your feet are right now or is down in the Atlanta area. In a couple of weeks, you're going to be up in Green Bay. And speaking of Green Bay, it can be quite an adjustment for a young man who maybe grew up in a much larger urban environment. How do you find the city, the thriving metropolis of Green Bay? What is there a place you like to hang out, or a restaurant that you like? What do you like about living in Green Bay?
It's smooth. I actually kind of like it, especially for what it's worth for being able to lock in. I feel like it's no way impossible to get in trouble in Green Bay. There's not too many options to get in trouble.
You'd be surprised, Kingsley. We've had some stories, but I hear you. It's a bit of a fishbowl, and you are kind of like locked in because of a lack of maybe choice of a million things to do, like a big city. You kind of have to concentrate on ball, I would suspect.
Then it's smooth too, because like I tell people all the time, like here in Georgia, someone can be essentially 5 minutes away, but it's going to take you 30 minutes. But the longest you're going to drive in Green Bay is 20 minutes. The furthest you're going to drive is 20 minutes. Like I only experienced traffic once in Green Bay,
right?
And you're going to experience traffic anytime you touch the road in Atlanta. So like things
true.
like that, you definitely appreciate.
I love it. What do you like away from football? Is there a movie series? Are you a Marvel guy? Is there a musical artist you love? Like, what are you doing? What are you chilling to when you're not like playing ball?
Either playing a game, Call of Duty 2K.
All right.
Then I kind of like a lot of artsy stuff. Like I know back in school I used to paint shoes and like customize shoes and stuff like that. Now,
that's cool.
Yeah. Then I guess like a month ago I just bought a camera. And I'm gonna start taking pictures and stuff like that, and pretty much create experiences and lasting memories with that. But yeah, I like a lot of arts and crafts stuff, kind of stuff.
That's really cool.
We'll
have to hook you up with Evan, the photographer for the Packers. We should have a Kingsley Enagbare like series during training camp, like Kingsley's photos or something. That'd be cool.
That'll be lit. I'll definitely.
I love it. I love it. That's so great. Well, Kingsley, I really cannot thank you enough for the time, man. And look, I know Packers fans are really excited for your second season. We're really excited for you here at Cheesehead TV. Thank you for the time, and good luck this season with the Green Bay Packers.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having me.